clear? It's curious. So, first you can see how subtle are these texts. It is not easy to find such a play between orality and writing in the literature. It's like in modern literature when the author pretends that there is another author who told him the story, etc.
So the fiction is that people are dictating the text, but in reality, the text is speaking.
They're not dictating. They are speaking among them in order to find the rule. But then the text will say, while they spoke, the text was written. There is no... It's not said that something was dictating, that something was writing, as if the rule could be written anonymously by itself. Now, in the second rule, the rule of the fathers, we have the same mise-en-scène. Have you seen mise-en-scène? Yeah. So, the text will say, we were sitting together, but now the dialectics between orality and writing is a little different, because now it's clearly stated that our end, our goal, was conscribere regula. We met to write the rule. So while in the first text regula means conversatio, means the way of living, here regula acquires the meaning of a text. Yeah, perhaps I didn't tell you. When we see the monastic literature, in the beginning it's not easy to decide if regula vitae means a way of living or a text. Usually for the first time we find this play between writing, so there an allusion to the fact that we have a text. Yeah. A text is being created, being produced. So in the second, while we met, we planned, we wanted, and to conscribere, write the rule. Then the third, called the third rule of the fathers, the transition from orality to writing is already happened, is already done. Why we know this? Because the beginning, the text will say, while we were together, sitting together with our brothers, we decided to read the rule. So now there's no question of speaking, of writing, the question is reading. So the rule is already written text. So we speak about what must happen, etc. But the text says we decided to read the rule. And that's what we will find in the Benedictine rule. The Benedictine rule, the rule is clearly presented as a text. It is a written text. And the text is even called regula descripta. Rule, mind the fact that describere in Latin is not scribere, is to copy. So it's not only a written text, but is something that we copied. So the writing goes back in the past and we just copy. It is a regular that we have copied from another written text, So with the Benedictine text, the orality is finished. There is no more any education of an oral sphere. We have a text which is copied. But the most interesting, in my opinion, thing is what we can see in the Regula Magistri, this other big text, the Rule of the Master. Because here we find a very interesting dialectics between orality and writing, which is really complicated and with a degree of subtlety, almost very, very modern. You can imagine that this has been written by an avant-garde writer in the 20th century. So I will not analyze all these dialectics because it will be too long. But since the beginning, we witness the fact that so it's the play between writing and orality is so intertwined that really we cannot really understand what happens. What I mean, for instance, the beginning of the rule is the rule who speaks to others, to a man, to man. The text begins, "O homo, O man." So the rule speaks, but then the text says, "O man, I tell to you that are reading." So the text speaks to someone who is reading the text. But how can a text apostrophize?
To turn away to
Apostrophize the reader orally. So it's kind of a mise en abîme of the text within itself. But the more interesting thing on which I wanted to draw your attention is what happens in chapter 24 of this rule. The chapter 24 of the rule concerns the reading while eating. As you probably know, in the monasteries till now, while the monks take their meals, there is a monk who reads the holy writings. This is a very, very old custom in the Christian liturgy, and it comes from Jewish liturgy. Already in the synagogues, one of the main part of the Jewish liturgy was the reading of the Torah. The reading of the Torah, who had the form again of a cantillatio, of a singing, kind of singing. Singing. Cantillatio, this is germinal singing.
And the person who sings is a cantor.
The cantor was singing. The lector is the one who reads. So the lector must be also a cantor, must be able to sing. So this is a very common fact in liturgy. But what happened? The interesting is that here the rule will say that while we, the brothers, take the meal at the 6th or 9th hour, each monk will at third read this rule. So they will, during the meal, they will not read the holy writings, but the rule itself. And this according to the model of the lectio continua. Continuous. For the liturgy, you say reading or lecture? Reading. Continuous reading. Continuous reading. Meaning that a certain text, the Bible, the Gospel, or in this case the rule, must be read from the beginning to the end without interruption. So when the monk was reading